This interdivisional New England League game features the Bristol Blues and the SwampBats. The Blues ended the game with a record of 16-8 in second place in the South Division. The SwampBats have a record of 17-8 and are in first place in the North Division. Bristol is managed by Greg Hunt. He's assisted by Keene Chris Leone, John Reba, Howard Reba, and Mark Stevens. Now the starting lineup for the Blues. Leading off the second baseman, number 25, Nate Lincoln. And second, the shortstop, number 28, Luke Lenore. And third, left field, number 2, Mika Peterson. And fourth, right fielder, number 7, Gianno Maloney. And fifth,
Mike, if his mic starts peaking, let me know, I'll fix it. Drop that a touch or two, just raise the fader. All right, here we go.
Number 40, Tommy Baylor. And then seventh, the first baseman, number 18, Trevor Hansen. Having eight, the catcher, number 10, Scott Gell. And ninth, the third baseman, number 14, Alex Cruzero. The pitching for the Blues from Wofford College and Decatur, Georgia, Noah McMahon. Brought to you by Full Throttle Power Sports.
Baseball is back at Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire, as the Bristol Blues are in town to take on the Keene SwampBats. It's the second South Division opponent in a row in consecutive days for the SwampBats. They dropped a game to the league's best, Newport Goals, and now they've got another tough challenge on their hands tonight. I'm Andrew Hillsman, alongside me, Kobe Bronstein. And Kobe, this is going to be a fun one. Both these teams met at Muzzy Field about 2 or 3 weeks ago today, and it was a close game. It went down to the wire, ended on a strike 'em out, throw 'em out, 4-3 the final score, but this one shaping up to be as good of a game as the first.
Yeah, man, you said it. There was not much separating these two teams at all. It was such an exciting finish. It seemed like Bristol was going to have some Muzzy magic, as the fans notoriously call it at Muzzy Field, and it just wasn't meant to be. And at that point, Keene was firmly above the rest. And again, in that intro, you mentioned that Newport is now the best. They've certainly caught up. They've been on a heater. You guys played them yesterday. It does not get any easier in Bristol today.
No, it doesn't. It's the best team in the league, and now the best team behind Keene and Newport. So Bristol, if they win today, they'll tie Keene in second place. We'll have a look at the Keene lineup in just a little bit, but before we get to the action, we'll send it to a short national break. Upcoming, it's the Bristol Blues and the Keene SwampBats. You're watching the New England League here from Keene, New Hampshire. We'll be right back. First pitch.
Ohio. Number 18, Benjamin Labatt. Umpires for tonight's game are Brian Ross behind the plate, with Joe Hilton and Don Dollar on the bases. At this time, I draw your attention to the area behind home plate for the singing of the national anthem, this evening being performed by Josh Greenwald.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Josh. Going out tonight.
All right.
Ceremonial
Well, it's almost time for first pitch here at Alumni Field, but before we get to the action on the field, we send it to our sideline reporter, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan?
to a man who was the biggest fan.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, it's biker night here at Alumni Field, and they're going to see an interesting one between two of the league's best teams. And for the SwampBats, despite their bit of a snide of late, they're still the league's best offense, and they lead the league in home runs and total bases. But that'll be countered tonight by the league's best pitching. The Bristol Blues are one of the only teams in the league that have yet to allow triple digits of runs allowed against them and earned runs, leading the league in those two categories. So it'll be interesting to see who prevailed, the offense or the defense. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Well, Bristol, their pitching has been good, but this guy on the mound for the SwampBats has been just as good. It's Ben Rabatin, who will be starting on the mound for the SwampBats today as the 6-foot right-hander, hard-throwing from Kent State College, a sophomore out of Parma, Ohio. It's going to be a tough one for these Bristol Blues hitters. As the hitters, a middle-of-the-road offense for Bristol, Kobe. Keene, one of the best offenses by metrics, by numbers in the NECBL. Ben Rabatin has been one of the better starters for Keene all year.
Yeah, and he's faced a couple of these guys in the lineup today, but for the most part, in terms of the structure, there's some guys that were probably in the middle half of the order when they faced Rabatin last that are now towards the top, and then a couple new additions as well. So it's going to be very interesting as most of these guys face Rabatin once again, but just a best-on-best kind of matchup, and so much fun is going to be ahead tonight.
We'll have a look at the Keene defense as Jaros is in left and Herring in center. Right field, the right fielder is Perez, Nick Romano at third, shortstop Andrew Bell, Ripken Reese at second, and first base is Chandler Tubo. TJ Schuyler behind the plate for the SwampBats.
We have a blue Ford Bronco Sport registration Hawk.
And now 1 through 9 for Bristol. For the first time, leading off is Nate Lincoln. He'll be followed by Luke Nomura out of Fairfield, and then Mika Peterson. Middle half of the order, Gianno Merlongi. Dean O'Neill in the lineup for the first time since June 5th. He hurt his throwing elbow on a throw down to second base against the Vineyard, and he is back tonight. So excited that he is in the lineup once again. He's a designated hitter. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, Tommy Ehlers, Trevor Hansen, Scott Gale, and to round things off, one of the newest Bristol Blues, and Alex Irizarry.
All right, we're almost ready to get started here in Keene, New Hampshire, as Ben Rabatin Focus is on the mound. Leadoff hitter for the Blues is Nate Lincoln from Marist College, who's had a pretty solid start. And then, of course, yesterday against Danbury, 3 for 3 with an RBI at Muzzy Field as the Blues took that one 4-2. We're almost ready to get going here as Rabatten will take the mound. And it's time for Blues versus SwampBats. Rabatten fires in, strike one. And we're underway at 6:37 p.m. Rabatten, a hard-throwing right-hander out of Kent State. We'll see what he's got today. Off-speed pitch is low and in the dirt. Behind the plate calling balls and strikes is Brian Roth. First base umpire is Joseph Hilton, and then Dan Goller is at third. Rabatten breathes, and he'll kick and deal. 1-1 is just high.
Lincoln at the dish for Bristol has been absolutely outstanding. He was 3 for 3 yesterday, scored a run, drove in a run, and was hit by a pitch. He reached all 4 times he came to the dish, and he's rewarded for being in the lineup at the leadoff spot for the first time all summer.
2-1 on the way from Rabatten. So fastball is just by the barrel of Nate Lincoln. We've seen Rabatten touch the mid-90s. We've seen him get up to 93 this year. Looks like he's slowing a little bit to start. He will have to give some good length for the SwampBats today. 2-2 on the way to the leadoff hitter Lincoln, who's hitting 282 on the air. Rabatten kicks, deals, foul ball, stay alive.
Lincoln just such a tough out, and he has a smooth swing plane, able to drive it to all parts of the field, especially opposite field. He had 2 of his 3 hits over in that territory yesterday.
2-2 again. Rabatten shakes off Skyler once or twice. And the 6th pitch of the game on the way. Liner back up the middle. Bell fields the hop, throws to first for out number 1. And we're underway with the 6-3 putout. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Luke Nomura. Kobe, with Bristol having, you know, a offense that doesn't wow you in the average department. Great in runs per game, just under 5.5, but 8th in the league at batting average, 240, yet they're still a very solid team. Bristol's pitching 2nd in the league at a 3.4 ERA.
That's it right there, and it's going to start with Noah McMahon on the mound once again, a 1.5 ERA, pitched against the SwampBats, a strong outing in that one.
There's a ground ball through the gap on the right side of the infield, a 1-out single for Luke Nomura, and the Bristol Blues have 1 on.
This guy's another reason why, too, offensively, just so good at barreling up those pitches. A fastball up and in from Rabatten, and the first pitch going the other way. Nomura and Lincoln just grounded out to shortstop, but those guys in the 1 and 2 hole for the first time all summer, and it's so well earned. They have been gritty, tough guys offensively, putting together some great at-bats.
Ben Rabatten's most recent outing was June 28th in the 12-1 victory for the Bats right here at Alumni Field against Sanford. He went 3 innings, allowed 1 earned run, only his 3rd of the year. First pitch is inside to Mika Peterson, who was 0 for 4 yesterday, a senior at Brown University. 1-0. That's low and inside. Beautiful night for baseball here in Keene, New Hampshire. Probably right in the mid-high 70s, not too much warmer than that. We've had some hot ones here at Alumni Field, but this is not as toasty. We're batting from the stretch, back up the middle for a base hit. As now rounding second, heading for third, Nomura out by a mile, trying to stretch to third. Great throw from Jack Herring in center field, and Romano makes the tag for out number 2.
I mean, everything went right at the plate. Mika Peterson, another just prolific contact bat, and you could see right as the ball was corralled that they were going to have Luke Nomura the throw on time, and even caught a bit of lip reading with manager Greg Hunt saying, "My bad," from Luke Nomura.
No, it's an early game. It's not too big of a, mistake. It leaves a run off, or leaves a base runner off, but it doesn't hurt you too bad. As Peterson, like you said, will stand in on first. brings up Gianno Merlonghi, the 4-hole hitter. He's 1 for 3 yesterday, has a homer and 13 RBI on the year. Talk about two different fields that these two teams play at in pitcher-friendly versus hitter-friendly, opposite ends of the spectrum.
It is so different, and Bristol isn't a team that's taken advantage in the power department, even at road parks like this. They have only hit 7 home runs all summer long, and Keene has been far and beyond the best team, hitting 25 home runs. It's just totally different parks that these two teams play at, and Bristol has a very good road record, but they've had to get these gritty runs, and they come in bunches as opposed to the long ball going over and hitting a homer.
Keene leads the NECBL with 25 long balls on the year. 0-2. Called strike 3 to end the inning. As the Blues manage 2 hits but leave 1 stranded, we head to the home half of the first with Jack Herring, Ty Manolfi, and Ripken Reese due up for the bats when we come back.
Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. New memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the bars in the brakes. I'm talking one chance at best. Yes, painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one all, one shot. Now the future is yours. Let's go.
Pitcher on the mound for Bristol tonight, it's Ryan McMahon. It's the same pitching matchup that we had when these two teams played at Muzzy Field. Ryan McMahon versus Ben Rabatin out of Wofford College. Noah McMahon had a pretty good start to his 2025 summer.
1.5 ERA, 2 wins, no losses. One of those no decisions came on June 21st at home against Keene, that razor sharp, close loss for the Bristol Blues. But McMahon in that one went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. In his last 3 appearances, he's gone 5 innings strong, allowing just 2 earned runs that came against Keene. And it's mostly just been the offense that hasn't picked up their end of the slack, and that's why Noah McMahon really hasn't gone into the later innings.
Well, his first challenge will be Jack Herring, who is the leadoff hitter. He's playing center field today, DHing in Ty Manolfi. Manolfi up towards the top of the lineup for the first time in a couple of games. Ripken Reese and Xavier Perez are 3 and 4. Ryan Jaros, Nick Romano, Chandler Tupou, TJ Schuyler, and Andrew Bell, as this one's laced out to left field, but it's caught by Peterson. First pitch and first out. Herring has been a guy who really likes to jump on counts, or jump on pitchers early in the count. Bring up Ty Manolfi, who is 3rd in the NECBL in batting average, hitting .356. As a lefty who recently committed to Boston College, played his freshman year at Dayton. First offering it to him, a line drive into right field. It gets down for a base hit. Like it was in the home or the road half of the first, it's a 1-out single. The 2-hole hitter for the SwampBats. Manolfi starts his day and extends his hitting streak.
Yeah, 2 pitches, and the SwampBats have crushed each one of them. Just the first, Peterson was right there in left field, and then no doubt about it, a single into shallow right center field.
You see a look at the weather, 82 degrees, sunny, no threat of rain today, not too humid. Very nice night for baseball, as this brings up Ripken Reese, who's at his 5 homers on the year. 0-1. Ripken Reese 0 for 5 yesterday at Newport in a game that the SwampBats really controlled in the middle innings. Held Newport scoreless. Newport, the best record in the league. Manolfi takes his lead, swinging him as strike 2 on Reese. But Newport is just a wagon this year. They've won 5 straight. I think it was 10 of their last 11 or 11 of their last 12 now. So they have been playing pretty well
And the two-time defending league champions
That's
as
right.
well, year in and year out.
Pickoff attempt, back over to first. Manolfi barely slides in. Manolfi, a base stealing threat. He's 3 for 6 on the year on stolen base attempts. So he'll take his lead again as McMahon looks over. 0-2 to Ripken Reese. Grounder up the middle. Played, stepped on second. Nomura takes it himself. For outs 2 and 3. We're through the first inning real fast here in Keene. 0-0 as we head to the top of the second.
And we have the tonight's dirtiest car in the parking lot. It's a Ford Explorer. Number registration 3499157. Stopped by the swap shop to pick up the prize. Free car wash, courtesy of Mint Car Wash. Thanks to Mint Car Wash for keeping the cars of Keene clean. Once again, that's a Ford Explorer. Plate number 3499157.
At least I heard. Yeah, that was good last time.
Experience a Mint shine every time at Mint Premium Car Wash. Offering both soft touch and touch.
All right, 0-0 through the first inning as Ben Rabatin steps back out for inning number 2. And Kobe, an interesting 5-hole hitter here today. Dean O'Neill makes his return after a month ago today. Had an injury in his throwing elbow, was out for a month. Now he's back and he's DHing today for the Blues.
And it was a big summer coming into it for Dean O'Neill. He's had so much success at Maine, had 3 great years there, loved the school, but wanted to test the waters. And when you start off the summer with an injury like that, it's not necessarily how you script things, but it's the way that he's bounced back. He has been one of the catalysts in terms of just being a leader in the locker room each and every day, and it's been a sight to see. And he also, here he is coming up to the dish right now off your screen, but he has been so good when he has played. 1 home run and 3 hits so far, and
Phenomenal.
Going to be interesting with him back in the lineup.
Yeah, O'Neill had what I assume was a 3-run homer based off just the numbers as he steps in as a righty batter. Only 17 pitches in the first inning. That is, my guess would be a record low here at Alumni Field, at least this year. Very, very fast first inning. I think we got through it in 10 or so minutes. Speeding right along as a first pitch strike to Dean O'Neill. He waves on an off-speed pitch. Down 0-2. Rabatin effective.
And that helmet, you see a big M. Previously at Maine, but just recently, a couple days ago, committed to Middle Tennessee State.
The Blue Raiders.
That's right.
0-2. Fouls off the breaking ball. Skyler gets him a new baseball, and stands have filled up pretty nicely here at Alumni Field. It's bikers and baseball night. So lots of motorbikes around in the outfield. There's kind of a collection of them in left field. Rabatin kicks and deals the 0-2. That one gets through on the right side, just sending it the other way are the Blues today as O'Neill is on for his 3rd hit of the year.
I love it. I mean, just all smiles from Dean O'Neill. A couple of the guys chirping him when he was in the box, mid at bat. And he's got to feel so good about that first swing that he put together for a hit back in a big way.
It's an effective piece of hitting for Dean O'Neill. As his first game action in a month leads him to a single. Rabatin, his season high in hits allowed is 2. He's now allowed 3 in an outing. First pitch high to the center fielder, Tommy Ehlers. It's 227, 9 runs batted in on the year. Keene State guy. Was 1 for 3 with a run yesterday in the 4-2 victory for Bristol over Danbury. 1-0 as O'Neill takes his lead. That one's low and a little bit outside. And the thing with these middle lineup guys, you don't know what you're going to get out of him each night, but Ehlers has been pretty consistent as a fielder as well.
He's been very consistent. always in center field. He's been in the lineup almost every game, and not necessarily a homecoming for him. But I'm sure we're just down the road. It's got to feel good to come back. And maybe some of his former teammates or coaches or family members here tonight. And another guy was in the portal, just recently committed to the University of Dayton. Very successful D3 career, and now moves to the Division I level for the first time.
Good for him. 2-1 on the way from Rabatin. That's a wave and a miss at a high breaking ball. Very effective on the location. Looks really appetizing to a hitter as it comes in. So 2-2. Rabatin just above 20 pitches to this point, as O'Neill takes his lead off of first. 2-2. Just gets a piece, and he'll stay alive. We saw a lot of long at-bats yesterday in the Newport game down at Cardines Field. Have you guys made that? You guys have been there. Divisional rival, beautiful ballpark. Really interesting spot right on the water. Yesterday there were a ton of yachts and boats and all of the above for the 4th of July. 2-2. Just outside, runs it full.
And that park also historic, just like Muzzy Field. Muzzy Field, where the Blues play, has been around for over 110 years, but nothing compares to the scenery of Cardines Field. That environment, so intimate with the fans right on top of the field.
Yeah, you talk about right on top. That's where you are. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into Skyler's glove for strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Ben Rabatin, and there's one away in the second.
The first baseman from Manhattan University.
Brings up Trevor Hansen, who's 130 at the plate on the season. 3 homers, 6 RBI. In his 17 games, this is his 18th game. SwampBats wouldn't mind a double play here. First pitch, a strike.
Yeah, that breaking ball has been super effective for Rabatin. 12-6 action.
Now
starts high and right in at about the letters to Hansen. Just fooled him on the first pitch.
0-1. Goes with the fastball, hit high out to right field, but Xavier Perez has a beat, makes the snag, 2 away. High launch angle on that, but it just kind of died out. Not too hard, maybe off center on the bat, maybe off the end. 72 off the barrel. And an easy catch for Xavier Perez in right.
Yeah, and that pitch into Hansen. And talked about the home run totals earlier. Keene with 25, far and beyond the best in that category. Bristol with 7, and Hansen has just under half of his team's total in that category with 3. One of them coming at home, and the other 2 on the road.
Fresh count to the right-handed hitter Scott Gell, who's playing catcher today.
And O'Neill off of first, the designated hitter today, but normally would be the everyday catcher for the Blues before he went down on June 5th, and still trying to battle back his elbow to be a catcher, and that's why he's in that DH spot.
0-1.
Good bat with Scott Gell.
Just looks at one high. It's a good take, as Joseph Hilton says he did not go around. That's what it looked like from up here. Mountains in the background in right field. You've got the Red Barn in right field here at Alumni as well. 2-0, he waves at that off-speed pitch. That time at 85. Change-up of sorts, I believe, for Rabatin. High spin rate on most of his pitches. 6-0 righty comes set, 2-1. Goes with the fastball, it's called a strike. Just catches the outside low corner. The deuce is wild now.
Mixing it up beautifully. Has a 4-pitch mix. Has showcased every pitch so far. Fastball, slider, cutter, and changeup.
2-2. Got him swinging. 3 Ks on the day for Ben Rabatin as he walks off the mound. And the SwampBats have Xavier Perez, Ryan Jaros, and Nick Romano up to the plate. We're through 1.5 real fast here on a beautiful Saturday night in Keene, New Hampshire.
Head on down to the black gate behind.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
Middle of the second, now the bottom of the second. Keene has one hit up to this point. It was a Time and Olfie hard hit single off Noah McMahon, who, to his credit, responded to that single, induced soft contact, and got a double play. Great play by Luke Nomura over there at short.
He has been outstanding at that position all summer long. It was a close game against Mystic on Wednesday and made a diving grab to end that one. Has turned a couple beautiful double plays, and that tandem right now with the middle infielders, Nomura at shortstop and Lincoln over at second base, who has the ability to play the outfield, but for the most part has played second base here with the Blues, has been a sight to see.
As this is Xavier Perez who steps up to the plate. University of Houston guy, a compact batting stance, but a lot of power as a righty. Had a homer last night, the only home run that Keene hit a night ago. Came in the 5th inning. It was a solo shot, no doubter, to left field. And you and I have both been to Cardines Field. Those walls, you got to hit one pretty hard to get it over. Very tall, I think 28 feet, I believe, is the uniform height of all the walls out there. As there's a flared single to left field. As the SwampBats are getting to pitchers early in counts today. A couple of early opportunity hits and getting stuff started early in the inning. It's a good sign for the offense.
He was able to attack Bristol pitching in the first matchup around a couple weeks ago. Had a double off of McMahon. He's had a lot of success against the man out of Wofford. As the inning started with a bang.
Last time these two teams played was June 21st, when Rabatin went 4 innings. He allowed 2 hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout. McMahon went 5 innings, struck out 6, allowed 2 earned runs and 4 hits. Guy who keeps the walk numbers relatively low. Good control. This is Ryan Jaros at the plate, who's committed to play at Rutgers next year. Looks at strike 2. Nothing in 2 early to Ryan Jaros, who scored twice yesterday, 2 for 5 in that game at Newport. Fouls one off and out of play, as Scott Gell will find a new baseball. One of my favorite things about being at Alumni Field is just the different sorts of views you get. You have the mountains in the background. You have parking lot, now some bikes. There's Keene High School way off to the left. Pickoff attempt over to Perez at first. He's back in standing. And then at Muzzy Field, it's also very intimate in the outfield as well, because it's a deep ballpark, but you've got houses right behind it.
Houses, a park, very lively atmosphere yesterday actually beyond the outfield.
Hard hit ball to third, Irizarry over to second, Lincoln to first. They got him. Close play at first. They go around the horn for 2 outs here in the second.
That's an unbelievable double play, starting with Irizarry. 93 exit velo off the bat, and then Lincoln across his body, having to worry about a couple different variables, stepping on the base, getting it onto first in time. What a double play. So second behind McMahon.
Well, have a look. Yeah, he definitely got it there, and then the throw over to first, even more impressive. And then we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. That's a real close play, but it's a double play. Bang, bang play over there at first. Tough call for Joseph Hilton to make, but 2 away on a couple of double plays already for Bristol in this game.
And this one doesn't get McMahon out of the inning, but just limits the damage behind him. No ducks on the pond at the moment.
Nick Romano takes strike 1, inside half of the plate. Ball and a strike to Romano, the third baseman who hails from Florida Atlantic. He's top 5 in batting average with the SwampBats last year. As he lasers a ball, diving snag in right field by Gianno Merlonghi. What a play. Hard hit ball, 95 off the barrel. Merlonghi says, I don't care, I'm getting that ball. We're through 2 here in Keene.
How's everybody feeling tonight? How's everybody feeling tonight? Thank you very much for coming to our Bikers and Baseball celebration. We have a new game debuting right now. This is our tennis ball chicken leg race. Keep the tennis ball between your knees. Whoever gets to ribby first is our winner. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go! And they're off like a herd of turtles. They're dropping already. Emmett, you're kind of cheating. I see you over there. I don't think I've ever seen anything go faster than this in my life. They're moving like crazy. Who's it gonna be? Oh boy, it's coming down to the end, and there we go. Attaboy. Lucky to get the line, ladies and gentlemen.
Through 2 full innings, and Ben Rabatin steps out, but man, we got to have another look at this Gianno Merlonghi catch. A laser out to right, and just getting down towards it, laid all the way out. A great catch, underhanded grab, rolls over. He made that one look pretty easy.
You could see he had an excellent jump on the ball, 95 off the bat, knew immediately. He's one of those guys where not only does he bring a bat where he hovers around 300, he doesn't strike out a lot, has plate discipline, but he brings the intangibles defensively and also has a cannon of an arm. He's thrown out numerous runners at second and third base, respectively, and then makes plays like that.
And here's Alex Irizarry, who hails from Manchester, Connecticut. Played with the Norwich Sea Unicorns in the Futures Collegiate Baseball League the last 2 years. That's a great team name. Sea Unicorns? I like the creativity in college summer baseball. I don't know. It's one of the better things about the whole ordeal.
I think SwampBats is up there too.
I would wager that as well. Nothing in one is low and inside. Yeah, SwampBats is pretty.
Just how do you mix the 2 of those together?
No idea how it got started, but I am here for it, clearly.
The fans are too?
Oh, yeah. Very involved in the community is the franchise of the SwampBats.
And Bristol, one of the newest teams in this league.
Yes, just moved a couple years ago. What, 4 or 5 years ago?
2021.
Yeah. Batter is Alex Irizarry, who plays his college ball at Quinnipiac. Looks at ball 3.
Just his second game. The first month of the NDCBL summer due to injury after a season at Quinnipiac. And already making great plays in the field as well. Started that 5-4-3 double play.
Here's the 3-1 from Rabatin. That's high for ball 4. First Rabatin walk of the day. And that's a leadoff base runner for the Bristol Blues as we turn over the lineup card for the first time today. It's back to Nate Lincoln. Look at Lincoln in his last couple of games. Been really solid, 9 for 29 for a .310 average in his last 10. Even better, 6 for 17 in the last 5. So he has been nothing short of phenomenal these last couple of games for Bristol. They've won 2 in a row. First pitch high.
Bristol's been a team that has been very streaky. At home, they've been terrific. Obviously, the SwampBats beat them in a close matchup 2 weeks ago.
Just 2 weeks ago. How fast does this season fly by? Game 26 for both of these teams. 1-0. That one just runs inside, almost hits Lincoln, but he avoids it. As TJ Schuyler is going to come out and chat with Ben Rabatin, settle him down. After Rabatin threw his 6th straight ball. So he'll focus back in, and TJ Schuyler takes his place back behind the plate. Schuyler a week ago had his first homer of the year. We'll see him due up in the home half of the third. In the top of the third at the moment. Quick game thus far. Nothing the score. Good swing. But just got the pitch by him, did Rabatin. 90 miles an hour on the heater.
Yeah, he's had more success with the fastball than breaking ball tonight. Talked about his pitch mix earlier, has 4 of them.
Yeah.
In terms of free passes, he let up 5. It was a 12-1 victory over Sanford, but in 3 innings, let up 5 walks.
2-1 on the way from Rabatin. Takes his time now. Will catch the top half of the zone with a changeup. For a 6-foot-tall pitcher to get down the mound almost 6.5 feet is pretty impressive. Big stride, a lot of power. Here's the 2-2. Slide step called, strike 3. Catches the outside half. That slider from Rabatin is deadly thus far. 4 Ks for the SwampBats starter.
And just to go back a couple pitches, he had 6 straight balls at one point to 2 different batters. Makes an adjustment after a conversation with Skyler, a real veteran move from him.
Yep.
Able to settle down. 3 different pitches we saw. Able to fool Lincoln.
So that brings up Luke Nomura, who reached on a single in the first, but was thrown out by Jack Herring. First pitch, again, that off-speed pitch just catches the middle of the zone. Didn't look like Nomura wanted to offer. At a fair field, 1-for-1, like I mentioned. 40 pitches through the first 2 1/3 inning for Rabatin. Fouls off a changeup. Does Nomura. We move to 0-2. Bats wearing their yellow uniforms today that they wear on weekend or Friday or weekend home games. 0-2. Got him. How about 5? Impressive stuff from Ben Rabatin.
Yeah, that time, no problem to Nomura. Good morning, good evening, and good night. Enough said.
After a leadoff walk, looking to strike out the side. Micah Peterson will attempt to break up the strikeout streak as steps in, was 0 for 4 yesterday. Single earlier today. Irizarry stands in at third. That one just misses, a little outside.
Even with the walk, Irizarry on first. 5 of his last 6 batters, including the last 2 on strikeouts.
Micah Peterson will ground one that is spinning, stays fair. Romano, tough throw. Safe as Tupou jumped off the bag. A really good effort from Romano. Got the throw there in time, just a little high.
Well, Peterson's 2 for 2.
Wow.
That one off the top of the bat, some top spin. And it looks like that's one of those plays where you got to watch it down the line. And certainly Romano did the throw high. Maybe he could have gotten throw over to Tupou in time, and Peterson, he's the type of guy that can get hits in all kind of forms, and that one he certainly didn't script, but he'll take it.
This brings up Gianno Merlonghi, who ended the home half of the second with that incredible tumbling catch in right. 2 on, 2 out for Rabatin. First pitch, low and away. Previous summer ball experience from Merlonghi with the Westfield Starfires in the Futures League in 2024. Played 49 games with them, 45 with Central Connecticut State this past year. In the college season, 1-0. It's in the dirt, gets by Skyler. He'll have to rush after it, and they'll hold the lead runner, Irizarry, at third. It'll be a wild pitch. Runners second and third, but good for the SwampBats, the fact that there's 2 away.
And for Rabatin, able to send down Merlonghi pretty easily. A backwards K, a front door breaking ball to get him, and that heater getting away. It'll be interesting to see how he sequences things down to the count 2-0.
Goes with the fastball, leaves it outside.
You got Dean O'Neill on deck. It doesn't get any easier. I know he's been out of the lineup for a month battling an injury.
He has a single today. 3-0. That one's low. Bases are loaded for the Bristol Blues, and that brings up Dean O'Neill, looking to add to his 3 RBIs in his few games this year.
I think that type of pitch, again at 90 miles per hour from Rabat, he's trying to go rather middle, maybe middle and up, but instead elects to go away to Merlongi.
This will bring out Stephen Bangs, the first-year pitching coach for the SwampBats. Played for the Bats last year, but moved into a coaching role after his last year at Franklin Pierce University. So the infield will come have a chat. See how long they leave Rabatin in there. They'll trust him to get out of the jam. After O'Neill, who has struck out 4 times to, or rather, excuse me, has yet to strike out or walk this year, and only played 2 games and 8 plate appearances. But Ehlers struck out in the second. With Dean O'Neill, and what do you think his plate approach might be here?
I think to be patient.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we've seen the strikeouts in bunches from Rabat, but we've seen 4 straight misses, and we already saw what happened after a conversation. And I think on this first pitch, not necessarily looking to, no, well, he does attack.
He goes after it.
I will say now, Dean O'Neill is, in his couple years with the Bristol Blues and in college, is known for being very aggressive at the plate.
Set the tone for the AB. In the top of the 3rd, bases juiced 2 away, 0-1. That one misses low. Skyler thinks about a back pick over to first, of which he has executed that plenty of times this year. One of the strongest arms behind the plate in the entire league. Ended these 2 teams' last meeting by gunning down a runner at second. 1-1 from Rabatin. Checks on Irizarry, now delivers. Skyler keeps it in front of him.
That's the next piece I was going to offer in terms of the approach for Dean O'Neill, is that breaking ball, especially his slider away, has not been effective. So if you're a little bit more patient in that regard, but anything up and in, a fastball, he loves that type of pitch. He already drove it into right field a little bit earlier, then free game.
He can work one the other way like he did in the second. That would bring across probably 2 runs. There's a foul back, 2's on the board. So a big leverage moment here early in this game. Seems fitting that the last 2 meetings between these teams was low scoring. This one the same way through the first 2 innings. So we're batting 2-2 on the way. Big moment. Leaves it down and away. Count runs full, so the runners will move.
This is the type of at-bat that you think on it later in the game if you're Rabat on the side of the Keene SwampBats and O'Neill on the side of the Bristol Blues.
Fans start to get a little louder. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a liner towards Perez. And that ends the inning. A great play by Xavier Perez. Rabatin escapes the jam. As we head to the home half of the 3rd, due up for the SwampBats. 7, 8, and 9. It's Tupou, Skyler, and Bell on the other side of this break. Ribby is on a motorcycle. I don't know if you can hear me over the revving of the engine, but it's Bikers in Baseball night here in Keene. And if you didn't know it, you know it now. Ribby takes a lap around the field on somebody's motorcycle. I didn't know he had the ability to ride a motorcycle, but he did that pretty well, did a lap around the field, and was not very quiet about it like bats usually are.
Well, you just see him riding off into the sunset behind
Exactly.
the batting cage, and off
That's
he
awesome.
goes.
Maybe we'll see him again later. How cool.
Great job from the camera crew
Oh, yeah.
to capture that.
Always fun. Anyway, back to baseball, the main attraction of the night. Tupou to the plate as the first baseman for the SwampBats looks at a strike that's a little at the letters, catches the zone. Nothing game. We're in the home half of the third. That's inside.
At top of the third, Andrew could loom large.
Yeah.
For Bristol. 3 left on base, and great at bat again from Dean O'Neill. He's been so patient in driving the ball the other way. That time just right to Perez. 95 off the bat. Could have been a big moment in his return back to the NECBL, and then obviously here on the road, but to no avail.
SwampBats have struggled in their last 9. They're 4-6 in their last 10, 3-6 last 9. 16-4 the start. But the offense has fallen flat in a couple of games this year. Appeal down to third as Don Goller says that Tupou did not go around. Been a tale of really 2 stretches. SwampBats a record equaling and record breaking win streak of 11 in a row earlier in the season. 3-1, great block by Gell, but it's ball 4 as Tupou takes his 8th walk of the season. First free pass issued today by Noah McMahon, and this brings up the catcher TJ Schuyler out of Indiana University.
Yeah, we haven't seen that type of at-bat necessarily that McMahon has drawn, where just barrel on the shoulders most of the time. Not a lot of great pitches for Tupou to hit, but mostly just lack of pinpointing the zone.
Swinging first pitch is Schuyler as he waves at 88. Schuyler, 6'2", out of Antioch, Illinois. 36 games for the Hoosiers this past season, started 25 times. That's strike 2. Catches the outside corner. Schuyler, an 0-2 count. Over his last couple of games, 6 for 18 after a really slow start to the year. As he laces this one deep to left field, back at the warning track and making the catch is Peterson. Very hard hit ball, 98 off the barrel for Schuyler, but a hard line out, one away.
I mean, a good piece of hitting, but I think a much better approach from McMahon. I think a lot more aggressive pitching there to Schuyler as opposed to Tupou.
Brings up Andrew Bell, the SwampBats shortstop, who's hitting 159. Last game was on Thursday against Sanford, in which he was 1 for 4. But Bell, committed to the new coaching staff at Duke, looks at ball 1 upstairs. Very solid fielder. Doesn't make a lot of errors in the field. He has the bat in his repertoire, just hasn't seen it wake up this year. You watch him in batting practice, he's got pop in the barrel. Sometimes with some guys, it's just a matter of putting it together in a live game. It's tougher than it looks. 1-1, looks at an off-speed pitch. Good offering from McMahon, and like you said, yeah, the attack from McMahon in this inning has been a little bit better.
Great control on that pitch. Started outside of Bell and then finishing on the other side of the batter's box, but obviously well within the strike zone.
1-2, off the handle, ranging down left field. It drops fair, and Bell will have to stay at first as Tupou held up at second, but a really nice single down the left field line for the 9-hole hitter Andrew Bell.
I mean, see Tupou having a conversation with the third base coach. Got an interesting read off of that. You know, obviously with 2 outs, he would no doubt be darting across the base pass, but he was a little bit more reserved just in case he either went foul or Peterson had a chance to make the grab, and said it works out for the Keene SwampBats. First and second. You would have liked first and third, but you'll settle with this at the moment.
Jack Herring has been a fantastic leadoff hitter in the last couple of games for the SwampBats as he puts this one right side of the infield. Bell hops over it, and they'll take the out at first. 2 away. Runners move to third, or second and third.
And that's the type of play where if you go back a little bit, potentially if Tupou is at third base, it's no doubt a run for the SwampBats.
Yeah, probably have a look home on that throw, but not likely that you get Tupou, who as a first baseman, not a slow guy. He's stolen 4 bags on the year, but Timon Olfe, if there's a guy you want stepping up to the plate with 2 away, it's Timon Olfe. Down the left field line, it'll sneak foul on the first pitch. And Olfe has been fantastic thus far this year. 4 runs batted in scoring position opportunities with 2 away. Looking to add some more here. The 0-1 in the dirt. One-on-one. Olfe sets. It's a very specific pre-pitch routine. McMahon from the stretch. Strike 2.
So again, McMahon at his best when he is attacking the strike zone. That time again, just beautifully controlled pitch.
22 strikes to 8 balls. 1-2, grounder right side, picked up by Lincoln. Easy throw to first in the bat strand 2. We're scoreless through 3 innings. Top of the 4th as Kobe Braunstein will take over the play-by-play mic for the middle innings. Bats and Blues knotted at 0.
SwampBat fans, tonight's Brushing the Bases is brought to you by Spoonwood Dental. Let's give Ruby and Brett a big hand. Like a nice set of teeth, bases need to be thoroughly brushed at least twice a day. Thanks to Spoonwood Dental, Ruby brushes every day to keep his big smile looking great for all of his pictures. Just like Ruby, make sure to visit Spoonwood Dental for all of your dental needs.
Lucky ticket time, ladies and gentlemen. For a $25 gift card to Eat More Cake. 412-137. 412-137. From Swamp Shop, with a $25 gift card to Eat More Cake. 412-137.
Welcome back to Alumni Field. Nothing on the scoreboard so far. No short of hits though, 4 hits for the Blues. And we're batting on the mound once again for the Keene SwampBats. The most amount of hits he's allowed in an outing prior was 2. 4 on the board for the Bristol Blues, but the main thing for them is they left 3 on base in an inning in which they were threatening but couldn't put anything on the board.
Yeah, and already 5 in this game to Keene's 2, and that tells you that Bristol has had a better day at the plate thus far, just threatening a little more than Keene has in the early stages, and leaving Rabatin out for the 4th shows that 1, the coaching staff has trust in him to have a bounce back inning, but 2, the Bats a little short on relief arms today. They want to stretch Rabatin as long as he can, so I think 4 innings is a good start for him. That's kind of what they're looking at before the game. That's probably where the target was for Rabatin.
Starts with a breaking ball up and away to Tommy Ehlers. Ehlers struck out, as did Trevor Hansen behind him and Scott Gill. To Rabatin. Oh no, breaking ball in there for a strike.
That breaking ball has just been really fun to watch and also extremely effective thus far today. It's been a pitch that's really helped him put away batters late in counts all year.
All right, he kicks and deals. That slider missing off the plate.
He likes to throw it down and away to same-sided hitters to try to generate swings and misses. Early in the game, guys weren't really picking up on it as much, but as we get to the middle stages, it seems to be a little less effective. Real close there.
Ehlers skirts out of the way. 3 balls and a strike. Much different lineup today as opposed to yesterday for the Bristol Blues. A new addition, obviously, in Dean O'Neill. Trevor Hansen back into the lineup. Scott Gell. Another new guy in Alex Irizarry. As Ehlers takes ball 4.
So same way that the third started with a leadoff walk, and there were 2 walks in the first, or rather 2 walks in the third, now a walk to start the fourth. So I don't know if Rabatin will last all the way through this inning. The Bats will like him to. A double play would really help in that regard right here.
Take a page out of Bristol's book defensively. Bristol already turning 2 double plays.
Exactly.
5-4-3 on one of them, 6-4-3 the other. First pitch hit deep into right center field. Herring and Perez. It's Perez that makes the catch, and going back to first is Ehlers. Hansen can hit the ball a long way, just got under that 88-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah, a little under it, and I don't think he hit the barrel either. It doesn't seem like he barreled that one up. It had the exit angle to get out. I thought it was getting out a little faster than it ended up being, so a near miss for the SwampBats, but good composure by Xavier Perez and right to track it down on the warning track, or near the warning track.
So now in steps Scott Gell, another strikeout victim of Rabatin. Checks the swing. The ball sails into the strike zone. Gell, another guy that's been in and out of the lineup. There's been a lot of changes to the catcher position. Another guy that's been effective in the lineup, Joey DiMucci out of Penn State, on the bench today. Potentially come in as a replacement later on. 0-1 ripped on the ground. Over to Bell. Can he turn it on for one? He can, and the throw sails high at first to Tupou. So Ehlers is out, and Gell, after reaching on a, well, I guess, yeah, fielder's choice with an error, advances to second.
Yeah, my guess is that that goes, well, I don't know, because I think out 6-4, of course, and then I think that's going to be reaching at first on Gell on E4 on Reese, would be my assumption. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. No, he will advance on a fielder's choice, so I guess they'll say he was there before the throw had a chance to get there.
Okay, there you go.
Either way, I think that's one that the Bats would have wanted, but you get the lead runner, that's what matters.
So Gell now in a scoring position. Irizarry takes a strike. Base for the first time in his young season as a Bristol Blue via walk in the second.
I believe there should be 2 away. Scoreboard doesn't show it, but at least the mechanical one here, not mechanical, the digital one. It would be really cool if we had a mechanical scoreboard.
Looks like they're both off, but there are 2 away. Hansen flew out deep into right center field, and then Ehlers previously reached on a walk, was out. As they started to turn that double play, but they eventually couldn't. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Irizarry.
And if Batten can work through this inning only facing 4 Blues, that's so huge, especially for the SwampBats. They don't need to get into their bullpen early in the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away, top of the 4th. And the pitch gets away from Irizarry, almost hit him. Skyler had to retreat just in front of the backstop and advancing 90 feet, and just 90 feet away now for potentially bringing home the first run for Bristol is Scott Gell.
Yeah, this is a situation where Andrew Lapine is going to come in as the first reliever out of the bullpen. It looks like he's probably ready to go as soon as the motion is made over the bullpen. Regardless of how it goes, I imagine this is Rabatin's last batter.
Look down at Gale at third. Deep breath, 2-2. 9 away. Has already walked once. We talked about the free pass struggles for Rabatin. Other than that, has been very stellar in at least leaving many people on base, including 3 in the prior frame. So Gale will go on contact. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, top 4. Payoff pitch, grounded over to first. Tupou corrals it, throws it on to Rabatin, and once again, the Keene SwampBats get out of the inning. They have Bristol strand one. Still no score on the board. We're through 3.5 here in Bristol.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me and my dreams, like NBT. And let's face it, life can get challenging. I need a bank that's focused on me. They've been rated tops in all the things that matter, like trust, customer service, and financial advice. So when I need a bank I can trust, it's always NBT and me.
Rondé Barber here. Being in the NFL for 16 years, I've dealt with my fair share of bumps and bruises. But typical ice packs never stayed cold long enough, were messy, and inconvenient. HurtSkirt offers the same long-lasting treatment as ice does, but without the hassle. HurtSkirt uses no antifreeze chemicals, ensuring that panels freeze solid and stay colder for longer. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt. Use code BARBER20 for 20% off and free shipping at hurtskirt.com.
Back here in Keene, New Hampshire. Look at this, just continuing on with the motorcycles.
Okay, got one guy who stalled out there on the left, but the big bike in the third lane looks like he's the winner.
Like tortoise in the hair out here.
I guess, man, it's some big old motorcycles. Or maybe they're, oh, okay, I guess it's a motorcycle runway show is my guess, like a fashion show. Huh.
We figure to be a race down the first base line.
I feel like that's not really safe with
Absolutely
no barrier on the right.
Absolutely not.
I mean, it would have been entertaining. I would have enjoyed it. But probably smart to hold off on that until you got some safer barriers over there on the right.
There's so much room in foul ground, even where you mentioned to me earlier, it's my first time in Alumni Field. There is a red line that officially separates where the ball is out of play, even though it's still potentially within the right fielder's grasp, correct?
Right, yeah, so it's a white line that's painted. There's red on the fence down there in right, and I believe on the fence in left as well. But there's a line that people put their lawn chairs right up against. And they watch the game, unobstructed. Look at Ripken Reese, who is, there's a lot of people in the NACBL at 5 homers. Matthew Bolton stands alone at the top with 6. As that ball will zip on over to the kids and the fans. Kids like hanging out over there because they like to get autographs from the SwampBats in the bullpen, and it's a great spot to get foul balls.
Reese held up. Now 3 balls and a strike. Reese grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. A beautifully turned play, starting with the Murrow. It was a high hop, stepped on second himself, threw it on to first. And ended a little bit of a rally to start off things in the first. As staying alive here is Reese. Reese, one of the few returners here to the SwampBats in 2025.
Yeah, there's, I want to say 5 or 6. Reese, one of them. He was a big part in getting the team to the playoffs last year. Had 8 homers in 2024.
Full count. He didn't break the plane. The ball low and outside.
Great take. Started the hands, but awareness from the switch hitter Reese. Equal power, really, I think, from both sides. I haven't asked him which side he prefers, but when I see him go from both sides, it looks even. I don't really notice a ton of difference in the power output. So a very balanced player. Ripken Reese can play a lot of different positions. He can catch, middle infield. We've seen him at catcher, second base, DH, shortstop.
Big swing and a miss to start things off with Xavier Perez. He's 1 for 1, reached on a hit. But going back to Reese, if you're the Keene SwampBats, you'd love to have a guy with just that much versatility at your disposal. Not just offensively being a switch hitter, which Bristol can't say that they have one, but obviously having the ability to play the infield and even catch.
Well, the unique thing about the SwampBats lineup is they've got not 1, not 2, but 3 switch hitters in their lineup, with Jack Herring as the leadoff, Ripken Reese in the 3 slot, and then Nick Romano down in the 6 slot is also a switch hitter. That was a little close over there, but Reese again, speedy as well. He has 4 stolen bags. He's only been caught once.
After Perez, it'll be Ryan Jaros, followed by Nick Romano. Both of them not able to reach successfully. First time through the order against McMahon. So no runs so far on either side. No runs on 4 hits and no errors for Bristol. No runs on 3 hits and 1 error for Keene. 1-1 pitch ripped up the middle and through for a base hit. So Xavier Perez has had plenty of success against McMahon all season long. It's 2 for 2.
Yeah, Xavier Perez continuing a hot streak. He homered last night, was 1 for 4. And Perez has just been really fantastic all year. He was a mid-season, mid-June pickup out of Houston for the SwampBats, just adding power to the lineup. Already has 5 homers in the games that he has played thus far this year. 14 games, 16 for 55 coming into this matchup, and low strikeout numbers as well. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. He puts the ball in play.
So now Nick Romano digs in, and a deep line out to right field. And that was when Merlongi made an excellent diving catch. Somersaulted afterwards, tumbling on the ground. Now 1-0 to Romano. There was a quick conversation between battery mates Scott Gale behind the dish and Noah McMahon. McMahon has successfully gone through 5 innings of work his last 3 appearances. 1-0 pitch, grounded foul.
Especially in summer ball, where the norm for guys is to go 3-4 innings. It's awesome to see that a guy like McMahon is able to give you 5 innings every time he takes the ball as a starter. It's a weapon for Bristol.
2 of those he earned the win. The only time he didn't was against the SwampBats. Runner from second goes, a throw down to third. Yes, he got him. A great throw by Scott Gale. It was not a designed double steal, instead just the lead runner in Reese that now takes a jog back to the dugout. Very important out for Bristol. Obviously on first it is still Perez, but there's 2 outs.
Yeah, Ripken Reese did his best to avoid that tag, but just didn't get as good of a jump, and a great throw from Scott Gell.
And that's the first out, pardon me, not the second.
No. I don't think they'll send Perez, not really a base stealing threat. Worst case scenario, Jaros hits into a double play. But Jaros' bat has been better as of recent. He hit into a double play earlier today.
3-1 pitch in there for a strike.
Had his best game as a SwampBat. He's only been with the team for a week or a week and a half. He's 2 for 5, scored twice.
So another full count from McMahon. Walked 2 batters so far, Tupou and Reese.
Ouch.
And it looks like, yeah, it hit, I thought, around the elbow guard of Jaros.
I think it hit Jaros and then ricocheted into the catcher, Gell. No, it didn't. Coach Sean McKenna says he thinks it did.
We'll now come in to have a talk with home plate umpire Brian Roth. It looks like
they're gonna converse about this. It sounded like it hit something on Jaros. Either that or just ricocheted maybe off of the bat into Gell. Let's see if we can get a look at it. And maybe see where it goes. Does it go off the knob of the bat, hit him in the hand? We'll see. Go back to what Brian Roth says, and I think they're going to say hit off the knob of the bat, so that's a foul ball. That's what Brian Roth's decision is.
So now still full count.
Great replay by our crew.
Perez off of first for Keene. That one grounded up the middle. Nomura, can he turn another double play? He can. That is his second double play he has started. Got the lead runner on second. A dart over to first. What a way for Bristol to end the inning. That's 3 double plays, no score here in Keene.
Come on, Sean, let's go!
Lucky ticket time, ladies and gentlemen. For Applebee's, $25 gift card. 638-8388. 638-8388. Got swapped off the $25 gift card from Applebee's. 638-8388. Since 1875, Savings Bank of York has proudly been the Monarch Region's local bank. As a regional bank, we have no shareholders, so every decision we make, it puts our customers and community first.
Another inning here of baseball in Keene, New Hampshire. New arm. It's Andrew Lapine, native of Winter Springs, Florida. Attends Stetson University, 5 flat ERA. 1-0 in the record column, his 8th appearance all out of the bullpen. He's gone 9 innings. His last appearance July 2nd, a couple days ago at Vermont. A huge 16-4 victory for the SwampBats. Went an inning of work, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Faced 4 batters, just above the minimum.
Well, if you look at the data purely with Lapine, you might say, oh, he throws no harder than 80 or 81, and his breaking ball is in the high 60s, low 70s. Well, you'd be correct, but he throws submarine, and his nickname is, well, fittingly Subby on the team. Hardly do you ever really hear him called Andrew. But he's a fun guy to watch take the mound in relief for the SwampBats, but a great day for Rabatin. Didn't allow any runs, got out of a jam or 2, and struck out 5, so not too shabby.
Just maybe would have wanted a couple free passes back,
yep.
But infield and outfield really had his back behind him. 4 left on base the last 2 frames. Base was loaded. Bristol couldn't score in the top of the 3rd, and the runner on 3rd, that was Scott Gell, was eventually stranded as well. So Lapine will face 1, 2, and 3 in the Bristol order, starting with Nate Lincoln. He was 3 for 3 yesterday, bumped up to the leadoff spot for the first time, and has an 0 for 2 start against Rabatin.
I mean, deservingly so, right? When you go 3 for 3, driving a run in a 2-run game, makes all the difference.
The Blues played the Danbury Westerners yesterday at home. They are 5-0 against their in-state rival. What a great breaking ball, 68.
The movement profile is really interesting, but just adjusting to the arm slot, they throw the submarine righty after a hard-throwing right-hander in Rabatin. It's good strategy from Stephen Bangs and the coaching staff.
Lifted high in the air, shallow right center field, and it is Herring in center that makes the grab. So Lincoln has to settle for 0 for 3 now.
Yeah, well, it's tough to go 3 for 3 2 nights in a row, as it'll go out to center field. A good play by Jack Herring as he tracked it down and called off Perez. It's going to be that center fielder's ball. Interesting thing about Alumni Field, center field is probably one of the smaller areas that needs to be patrolled here. It's very unique in the fact that all sides of the outfield are relatively similar in size. So we'll see what Nomura has in store.
Single to right field in the 1st and then struck out in the 3rd. Doesn't offer at that breaking ball. And I will say, watching or calling most of the Bristol Blues games all summer long, not seen many pitches under 70 miles per hour.
Yeah,
obviously, it's this type of arm slot too, so it's just a completely different look. That one clips the zone. Looks like it started maybe behind him. Nomura is one to crowd the plate.
It's just interesting. He like steps out to the side as Lapine. He works off the first base side of the rubber and kind of funnels all of his energy into that right arm that He releases the ball right around his thigh or knee level.
There have been a number of pitchers at the highest level that have been effective with that arm slot.
Think of, yeah, Darren O'Day, Hobie Milner.
Yeah.
I asked Andrew what his favorite submarine pitcher in the professional ranks is. He said Hobie Milner, just because he's a big fan of playing MLB The Show, and that card is pretty good in the video game.
The count full, and Nomura going to reach on a walk. Well, still 1 for 2, and the first free pass issued by Lepine.
Nomura really solid at drawing walks at the plate. That's now the 12th he's drawn on the year. Has a high strikeout number at 21, or 22 now, but as long as you're keeping that ratio relatively close and not letting it skew towards the strikeouts, you're gonna be okay with it.
There's Mika Peterson down to the count 0-1. You mentioned the strikeout total for Nomura. Struggled in that department early on, but then the last 6 games, including this one, he struck out only twice.
He's changed something in his approach.
0-1, lifted high in the air, deep center field. Back at the track is Herring, and he makes the grab. So jogging back to first is Nomura. Peterson not known to have immense power, but certainly gave that one a ride with the shorter dimensions here.
Yeah, it was narrowly just missed, going 3 for 3 with a homer here. 89 off the bat, 331. If that's pulled down the left field line, or rather pushed down the left field line, that ball gets out, so just missed a homer. And we remain knotted at 0. A really fast game thus far. Just over an hour elapsed.
It'll be interesting to see also McMahon. As I mentioned, his last 3 outings have been 5 innings. He's gone 4. His pitch count a little higher maybe than he would have liked. We'll see if he comes back out in the 5th. Merlongi takes a strike, levels the count.
And here's something that's really cool. Here's Ben Dean signing some autographs and doing some stuff and giving out lucky tickets to Keene fans. Back pick, hello. Skyler is known to really enjoy taking taking runners by surprise and throwing behind them at the corner bases. Yeah, Dean giving out some lucky tickets. Dean from Swansea, New Hampshire, which is not too far away from Keene. So Keene, the fans cheer for him as one of their very own.
So now 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 away. Nomura off at first, just reached on a walk. There's Lepine trying to get out of the inning. Just a bit high. That pitch at 71. And you mentioned the ability of Skyler to just be so lethal in throwing out runners. This is almost an identical situation to how Bristol ended the game. Nomura was off of first. He was caught stealing on the strike him out, throw him out to end the game.
That's right.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Merlongi. Merlongi struck out looking in the first to Verbatten, followed by a walk. Verbatten once again, mostly efficient outside of a couple walks. As Merlongi now draws his 2nd consecutive.
Well, you know, he's seeing the ball well after going down looking in the first. That's a good sign for the 4-hole hitter of Bristol.
He is very disciplined at the plate. Not known to strike out a lot.
Wow, yeah, 19 walks to 13 strikeouts, so now 21 walks,
yeah, 21
to 14 strikeouts. 3-to-2 ratio. It's about as good of math as you're gonna get from me. Don't expect much more.
O'Neill taps one, it's foul, 3rd baseline. Merlongi.
You hear that? Someone said, "Get out, ball," in the dugout just below us. Oh, I don't even think the TrackMan picked up the exit velocity on that. That's funny.
And if you look at O'Neill, always smiling. He's the one normally dishing out the chirping from the dugout, especially that was mostly what he did the last month or so. Not much you can do when you're just trying to rehab something.
The head chirper.
I guess unofficially you could say.
D1 chirper.
This guy's a D1 player,
yes,
too,
he is.
I will say.
That's right.
On both sides, defensively as a catcher. 1 for 2. ripped one into right field that was caught. Bristol had 3 runners on, and this will end the frame. Now they're stranded for Bristol. That's 5 in the last 3 frames. O'Neal down on strikes. So in one inning of work, Lapine gets out of it clean. Still got no score.
What makes a great team hat? It starts with a Z. For decades, Zephyr has been making the most iconic headwear in the game, trusted by teams, colleges, and pros. We cut out the middlemen and work directly with our manufacturers, so you get top quality, fast turnaround, and prices that make sense. From bold designs to unbeatable fit, Zephyr hats are built to match the quality of your team, right down to the last stitch. Zephyr Team Headwear, born from experience, built for teams that stand out.
It has been a battle of the arms here in Keene, New Hampshire, at beautiful Alumni Field. One of the best parks in terms of fan atmosphere. You would know better than me. It's my first time here.
Well, you just look at, I go back to a couple of nights that really stand out to me. One of the Reading with Ribby nights, which is I'm not sure if you know about it. It's a program that Keene does with local schools to get kids to read more books. And it's been around forever. They do Reading with Ribby nights where kids who complete the program get a t-shirt for participating. And it's sponsored by plenty of local schools, not just in the Keene area, but surrounding as well. That set of games drew over 6,000 fans combined over 2 games. And then last Thursday, or 2 days ago, I should say, on the 3rd of July, we had 5,740 through the gates for Independence Eve, which is the big fireworks show that actually technically occurred in the middle of the game because we were in a lightning delay. And honestly, I like the decision. Hey, let's just launch the fireworks now.
That is so cool.
It was fun.
And it's not necessarily how you script things, but it's like how you adapt to certain situations that can be applied to anything in life.
For sure.
Certainly that decision paid off, gave the fans something to cheer for during the lightning delay.
And it wasn't any, just ho-hum display of fireworks. I mean, I think it went for 20+ minutes. It was pretty electric.
Very good crowd back on hand tonight. It's Mac Mahan once again facing Romano, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball hit deep into left center field. Peterson and Ehlers range back, and Ehlers at full speed sprinting over there to make the grab.
I wish we had, how the MLB has catch probability and, just feet per second. He was moving.
He was moving.
He got on his horse. Ehlers, speedy center fielder, got a great jump, and you see he's already in a full sprint, tracks it down and makes the snag. Had to go a long way, but a very impressive play from the Blues center fielder.
Seen some excellent defense so far for Bristol. 3 double plays turned as Tupou takes, I believe, a ball. Yep. 1-0.
Tupou, 8 walks to 7 Ks on the year. That's the thing that impressed me the most towards the start of the year, just the approach, low strikeout numbers.
Doesn't offer at that one.
If he doesn't love the pitch, he's not going to offer at it. That's kind of Tupou's brand. He's very selective, but is able to get on base. He draws the walks. Average has dipped in the last couple of weeks, but the talent is absolutely there for a guy like Tupou.
Good take once again. Now 2 balls and a strike. Native of Washington. Just turned 21.
Hey.
A rising senior at Charleston Southern. 1 for 4 his last time out. Looking for his first hit and goes fishing on a beautiful breaking ball from Mac Mahan. Battles back now with the count even at 2.
Well, the double plays have really helped the efficiency for Mac Mahan in this game. Only 55 pitches to this point. when your team turns 3 double plays, you're going to go deep into a game.
Ball from Tupou hit in the air. But Merlongi right in front of the M&T Bank sign makes the grab. And 2 of those double plays, 6-3, Nomura, able to corral it, step on second himself, fired on to first. Well in time both.
Yeah, neither
double plays.
Neither really close. And you just go back to the footwork of Nomura as that shortstop, just kind of gliding over it. No movement, looks wasted. It's a fun play to watch.
That one's given a ride. Deep right center field, and it's gone. It hung up there for a long time. TJ Schuyler brings home the first run of the game. And it's 1-0 SwampBats.
Well, how about Schuyler? He has just turned on the Jets at the plate in the last week or so. Watch out for Schuyler on a Saturday night. His second homer in 7 days, and that one straight out to center field. Metrics 93 miles an hour, 342 feet. Sure, it's a fly out at Muzzy Field, but here, that's a no-doubt shot over the trees. And hey, Marshall Lipsy is loving it, as is the rest of the SwampBats dugout. TJ Schuyler happy about that one, his second of the year.
They say home field advantage for a reason. That's now 26 home runs as a team, still pacing the NECBL by far. It's now Andrew Bell taps one foul. Schuyler with a hard, deep line out into left field his first time, and that one a no-doubt shot.
Right, and honestly, he would tell you, and I think the numbers tell you, that he hit the first ball better. Like higher quality, I mean, but the second one went out, so I don't think he's gonna complain. I know Keene's not complaining, they have the lead. Finally, we break open over halfway through the game, and only an hour and 30 minutes really elapsed.
Both teams have had their chances. Bristol has definitely had more, especially with bases loaded, top of the third. Just a bit low from Mac Mahan at 81.
Well, credit to Gell. I mean, you talk about framing, one of the most impressive things I think in the game of baseball, at least for me, to look at. That was a really good job. Just didn't nab the call. Working through the bottom of the zone, that's what a catcher tries to do. And you've got two that are really solid at that skill in Gell and Schuyler behind the dish today for both of these teams.
That breaking ball draws a swing from Bell. So if they can get there, SwampBats will return to the top of the order. Jack Herring. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That one just trying to fight it off anyway.
Bell is technically at a walk-off this year, but a little bit of an uncommon one. It was a walk-off hit by pitch. Only has 2 RBIs. That was one of them. SwampBats won a Friday night thriller.
Chopped over to Nomura, and he makes a throw in time. Just clinical over there in the 6th hole for Nomura, but the SwampBats are on the board. A home run from TJ Schuyler ignites the Keene crowd here on a beautiful Saturday night. Their team up 1.
Okay, everybody, tonight's Sweeping the Bases is proudly brought to you by the people at Dream Clean 123, the Greater Monadnock region's premier cleaning services. Just like your house, a baseball field can always use good cleaning, so let's hear it for Ribby and Brett as they make sure SwampBat baseball is always playing on a clean field.
Keene on the board. As this game continues here at Alumni Field, we're going to send it down to the reporter in Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Well, the attendance to last game, July 3rd at Alumni Field, was 5,740 fans. Yes, it is not a secret that the SwampBats feed off of the attendance they have here at Alumni Field, sitting at 11-1 on the season despite last game's loss. But if you speak with the players, it's really about the community aspect that the Keene community really rallies around this team, and it helps them not only live with these fans, with the families that they have host them, but when they play on the field, the kids really cheer their names and know who they are. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ryan. That's been a topic of conversation all night.
Oh yeah, just, I mean, the attendance that Keene has and the supportive fan base, and then the host family program as well. The wonderful people who open their homes to these players who come from all over the country. It's the kind of the lifeblood and the backbone of the NECBL, and especially the SwampBats. With no host families, there's no baseball. So I know Keene is doing a little brunch for family, friends of players, coaches, interns tomorrow, just to show appreciation. And then later in the year, there will be Host Family Appreciation Night as the theme night for Keene. As I look at my little master schedule, that'll be Friday, July 25th against North Adams.
Flared the other way, shallow right field. Always a tough play. And Perez able to get the first out.
Yeah, Ripken Reese ranged pretty far back into Perez's territory, but as the ball dropped out of the sky, caught him off. Good play by Perez. No. A little glove high five and have a laugh. Good communication between those two.
So Bristol with 4 hits, but they're searching for their first since the third, as Trevor Hansen takes a strike. Sent into center field, and Herring under it. You're gone pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, great play for Herring. Just he's really solid when it comes to picking the ball off the bat real early. And how about Andrew Lapine today? Really successful through the first inning and 2/3 of his day. It's been a very solid pitching performance between really all sides. One mistake pitch for McMahon, it's still a 1-0 game. It's anybody's game. But it's been tough for these Blues hitters so far to sort of get to Lapine, still adjusting maybe to that arm slot.
I think that's absolutely the case. Gale walked his last time up, was one of the last batters that Rabatin faced in his start. Trying to swing for the fences once more.
Well, he did hit a fence, just not the one he wanted to. Hit the backstop. Coach McKenna comes out and grabs that one. He'll inspect it, see if it's good enough to go back and play. Who knows?
2 outs, 0-2. Once again, out into center field. Infielder's not even looking at it. They're jogging in into the glove of Herring. So Lapine, you mentioned, Andrew, he's been great. Sends the Blues down 1-2-3, and the SwampBats up 1.
We are Keene State. Here, we believe that everyone is welcome and anything is possible.
Look closer. We are a tight-knit community, an inclusive community, where people can be their true selves. Bring your ability, background, culture, or traditions, whatever makes you you.
You already have what it takes. Welcome to Keene State.
.63 pitches in. 5 innings later for Noah McMahon. He's on the bump once again. He will face the top of the order for the Keene SwampBats, but Andrew, the bottom half did the damage in the form of Skyler.
Yeah, TJ Schuyler, who has had a resurgence at the plate. You look at, he had a struggle to start the year, a little bit slow at the start of the year. Struggled to rack up RBIs, but now he's really found his groove at the plate. Of course, he is a just a phenomenal defensive catcher. But now he's even more of a weapon for Keene at the bottom end of the lineup to help turn that lineup over and get to these more dangerous hitters. You hear coaches talk about that, and really everybody kind of talk about that. Get guys at the bottom of the order who can help you flip it over and just get on base, move it on along, and avoid making outs. And Schuyler has started doing a phenomenal job of that. There's that changeup from McMahon, and McMahon likes to favor that changeup. I imagine that's why he's able to go deeper in ball games. Maybe a little bit lower stress of a pitch to throw than a fastball.
And we've said it already, but the double plays have done wonders for McMahon, especially, as we've highlighted already multiple times, but Luke Nomura has been spectacular. 1-1, clips the zone for a strike. And for the Blues, they're definitely trying to extend McMahon as long as they can. They had 4 relievers at their disposal, but now 3 because one of their closers, Kyle Emmons, was scratched before today's game, as that one is placed on the ground foul, first base side.
Here's the race for the kids to get it. Who's going to get it? Diving play by the kid in the pink shirt. It looks like he'll come away with it. He's wearing a blue hat. I don't know about that, but didn't really get the logo on it.
1-2, hit in the air. Just barely getting into the lip of the grass. To make the grab is Nate Lincoln. And I said Emmons wasn't available. He actually is. I was looking at the lineup card. They had Emmons' name scratched off, and then they wrote his name again for whatever reason. It's the same spelling. Not sure why they did that. So it's Burns, Kyle Emmons, and a new pitcher potentially could go into the game for the first time, Jack Hawes out of Eastern Connecticut State. But we mentioned Blues want to ride out McMahon as long as they can. He's been efficient, just misses on that one.
Yeah, just off the outside part of the plate. Manolfi, you might wonder why he's wearing that Dayton helmet if he's committed to Boston College. I asked him, hey, are you going to come with the BC helmet? He said, no, I'm going to use the Dayton helmet until I start, being a little bit less efficient at the plate. I mean, he's been tearing it up at the dish, so why change anything?
Once he does need to switch, he can give it over to Tommy Ehlers.
Exactly. Maybe, I don't know if they want to share a helmet. I'm sure Dayton will provide him one, but he could if he wanted to.
Hard grounder off the chest. And now into the bare hand of Hansen. That's a tough play. That time would have needed a chest protector. Probably hurt him a little bit, but gets an out nonetheless.
He wears it. Tall first baseman in Trevor Hansen, who's struggled at the plate, but that's a solid play. Let the ball hit you and keep it in front of you. That's what guys are taught to do from a young age. Manolfi moves to 1 for 3 on the day, and Ripken Reese, we'll see what he has in store. He grounded into a double play, had a walk, but was caught stealing.
And for McMahon, this is officially the longest start, not just for him in the season, but any Blues starter. Joe Duffield, who pitched yesterday, he went 5 innings, and previously, a couple weeks ago, went 5 1/3. That was the longest outing for a Blue. McMahon at the moment, 5 2/3. Now 1-1 to Reese.
I wonder what the longest outing is in the league this year.
Not much more than that, to be honest, from what I've seen.
Right, I can't imagine anybody goes further. Maybe one game, some guy has just been really efficient, maybe goes 7 innings, goes 6 2/3.
Should be no problem for Ehlers. A couple steps back, left center field, and he makes the grab. The Blues want McMahon to go into his outing as much as possible. He has now gone 6 strong, just 1 homer he's allowed. And that's your score here from Keene, New Hampshire.
Tired of the hassle of treating all your aches and pains? Grip Strip is a technical stretch fit cold sleeve designed to make therapy more efficient, effective, convenient, and fun. Go over here to the field online at gripstrip.com
Dash in the grass concluded. Ribby's getting all the kids off the field. And we've had a very interesting game to this point. 1-0 to score after a TJ Schuyler homer in the home half of the 5th. Andrew Lapine has been very solid thus far. He's into his 3rd inning of work, as the submarine arm has retired now 4 straight, dating back to the end of the 5th. First up for the Blues, it'll be Alex Irizarry, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Then it'll be the top of the order, Nate Lincoln and Luke Nomura.
And we know that Bristol offensively hasn't been a team that strikes out a lot. And certainly the guy they're facing doesn't strike out a ton either. It's now just in terms of, can you put bat to ball? You know, I'm thinking back to a hit like Mika Peterson had off the very top of the bat. Anything in that kind, just facing a very tough arm slot, and Lapine could really get the job. You need base runners in any form, but just a 1-run deficit.
Yeah, you almost need a ball up in the zone to get to Lapine and launch one out of here. As the first pitch, a strike to the 9-hole hitter Irizarry, 3rd baseman. Helped turn a double play in the 2nd, but aside from that, really hasn't seen a ton of action over there defensively. 0-1, hit well, left center field. Herring has a beat, but instead it's Jaros who loses his hat and makes the play.
Yeah, Irizarry still looking for his first hit, but has looked really solid so far on both sides of the plate. He's drawn a walk tonight. Nate Lincoln has also been so solid this season. He's had a tough day so far. Trying to follow it up after going 3 for 3 yesterday. Just get something kick-started here for Bristol.
Yeah, it's the leadoff guy. Lincoln hasn't really, he's been the first out of the 1st, 3rd, and 5th to this point. It'll be the first time he's not a leadoff, or the first out of an inning. It's Keene Vorster warming up in the SwampBats bullpen. 1-0. Grounder in play. Tupou's going to pick it up, turns around, throws to Lapine, who steps on the bag, and hopefully he's okay. He got hit in the leg. Looks like he is okay. Oof, that one a little scary, but he makes the play.
I think that was even more impressive than it looked, because he was right next to the first base bag. He didn't look at the first base bag, instead backdropped with his right foot to step on it and able to beat a very speedy runner in Nate Lincoln. So hats off to Lapine, that is now through 2 2/3, very strong.
Yeah, Lapine and Tupou, good job to turn around and make an accurate throw, not too fast.
That was the type of weak contact Bristol could have needed potentially to kickstart something, and they got to wait a little longer.
Good first pitch to Luke Nomura, who struck out, singled and walked today. That's a strike as well. Inside part of the plate. And Lapine goes both sides. Outside, then works in. First pitch a fastball, second an off speed at 70 miles an hour. 0-2 with 2 away. Lapine delivers. Short pop up and ranging into the shallow outfield. Ripken Reese, another 1-2-3 inning. Make that 7 Blues in a row. Lapine has retired. We head to the home half of the 7th with Bats to lead 1-0. Well, Noah McMahon's day is done for the Bristol Blues, as Andrew Lapine, look at the reliever for the SwampBats, who's had a great day on the mound. New pitcher is Will Burns for the Bristol Blues. And Kobe, an up and down year for Mr. Burns.
Yeah, he's still a young kid. 6'1", 200 pounds. Has had a tale of multiple different outings so far, where in his first appearance on June 7th, went 4 innings. It was a 12-4 win at Ocean State, allowed 1 hit and 2 walks and a strikeout. Was so good in that one, and then got roughed up in a couple starts. Breaking ball hung a little bit and played to the power of Valley. That was a 12-5 victory for them on June 25th, and then has had 2 more outings since then, but can have a confidence boost once again on the road. Pretty stellar through an inning, allowed 1 hit and 1 walk. Faced 5 batters and comes into a huge spot in a not-so-friendly pitcher's park. So it'll be very interesting with him not playing at Muzzy Field, with a lot more room to play with in the outfield.
We've already seen 1 home run. I'll have to go back. This is something that I want to figure out. Average home runs per game this season. I'll have to go back and add them up, see how many we've seen here at Alumni Field, and probably won't go to the lengths of calculating that for every ballpark, but it'd be interesting to know the number here. First pitch to Xavier Perez, off speed for a swinging strike.
And I can't imagine a rate would be much lower than Muzzy Field.
Yeah. Imagine, I mean, Vermont has short corners. You see balls go out there. Sanford, a relatively hitter-friendly park.
Danbury, for sure.
Yep.
And that's a team that Bristol plays 6 times.
Right. Yeah, Muzzy Field, probably the most pitcher-friendly park in the league, I would imagine. 1-1 to Xavier Perez, who's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, but then has been a part of a double play each time. So he's not gotten past first. 1-2 on a swinging offer. With Ryan Jaros awaiting on deck. Here's the 1-2 from Burns, swing and a miss. Strike 3, down he goes. Nice first plate appearance, or first batter faced for Will Burns.
Yeah, and just 1 strikeout the last 2 2/3 that he's pitched. Mentioned he went an inning strong on July 1st at Ocean State, but not necessarily known for having that type of put-away pitch in his arsenal, but that time setting down a very, very good batter.
Here is Ryan Jaros. Looks at the first offering for a strike, and the left fielder has had a tough go of it today. Grounded into 2 consecutive double plays, the Rutgers commit for this upcoming year. Nick Romano, switch hitter on deck for the SwampBats. 0-1. That one pops away from the glove of Scott Gell. Ball 1. Jaros, a capable bat, played in 2 games in the Cape this year and left to come play here at the NECBL. 1-1 breaking ball, misses inside, very close. Just failed to catch the inner black. Burns. Right-hander deals, that's strike 2. He's a 6'1", 200-pounder out of Harvard. There's number 5 for the Bristol Blues. 2-2 on the way. Kicks and deals. Foul ball.
And I'm just watching the location that Scott Gell is setting up for that breaking ball. It's much more away from the middle or like a sweet spot for a hitter than it seems like in his prior matchups. And I think that's boded well to the success very early on, obviously, into this outing, just over a batter in.
2-2, misses low and in.
Just don't give the opposing hitters opportunities right over the middle of the plate, because they can wait on one all day, and especially at this park, and drive it out for sure.
Burns, a guy who made 10 appearances for the Crimson this past year. Swing and a liner, left center field, and it'll get down for a base hit. Jaros is aboard at first with 1 away in the 7th.
And you look at 85 on that pitch from Burns, that's a fastball. Again, doesn't have necessarily the velo to blow it past hitters of this caliber. It's more of just how can he pinpoint his spots, and that one left it over the plate just a little bit. Good job from Keene. They have something cooking here.
It's Nick Romano, the third baseman, everyday player for the SwampBats, as that one catches the lower half of the zone. Spent his first 2 years at Georgia Tech, played 68 games in 2 years with the Yellow Jackets. Sat out 2024, 2025. It's pretty effective, 274 for the Owls of Florida Atlantic University. 4 homers, 28 batted in. That one misses inside. He has to slide out of the way. Romano's been good at the plate for Keene this summer as well. 247, a homer, and 14 batted in. Had a moonshot go-ahead grand slam in the top of the 8th at Vermont earlier in June. 1-1. Breaking ball, waits on it and drives it to right field for a single. Everybody goes station to station. 2 on, 1 away.
That's a fastball that Jaros deposited into left center field pretty hard, and then that time Romano having to wait patiently on a breaking ball and barreled it up beautifully into shallow right field. So very good start for the Keene SwampBats after the strikeout to Xavier Perez, who was the only hitter in the lineup with 2 hits before going down swinging.
Chandler Tupou to the plate, as he's 0 for 1, flew out to right his last appearance and then was stranded at third in the 3rd inning after he reached on a walk. Fresh count to him with 2 on. He waves at one in the dirt. Might have been sitting fastball there. He'll focus himself back in. Lines up his hands on the bat. Steps back in. Yet to have a homer this season with the Bats. Hit 6 this past year with Charleston Southern. Be a nice time for his first. Breaking ball out in front of it, strike 2. You see, the power is definitely there. It's just timing it up, especially against a lower velocity guy on the off-speed pitch like Will Burns.
And most of the time, if you want to give one a ride, it's power on power.
That's right. Helps the batter more when it's coming in pretty hot. 0-2 to the first baseman. Breaking ball down and in.
It's been that pitch that he's trying to set up. He's able to get his first strikeout with that slider.
So 1-2 after the first ball of the AB. Delivery to Tupou misses.
I think it's so important for Burns to get ahead, because then at that point, if he has a couple pitches that miss the zone a little bit, he's not going to be hurt tremendously. He was able to get Tupou swinging pretty early with now just a high dose of breaking balls we've seen.
2-2 breaking ball. Middle of the center field, and Ehlers picks it up and has it fall into his glove. Out number 2. Really solid set of pitching from Burns.
I was going to say, the sequencing there was really good. And you're just not trying to leave one hanging. We saw what happened when Mac Mahan put it right over the plate to this guy coming to the dish right now, TJ Schuyler. That has been the difference in this ball game right now. And a huge at-bat here for Will Burns.
TJ, 2 homers this past season with the Indiana Hoosiers. His first 2 homers of his collegiate career. Heading into his junior year, and the right-handed catcher steps into the batter's box. First pitch. Laser left field, moving after it is Peterson. It gets down. They'll send Jaros home. He scores. An RBI single for TJ Schuyler. It's the TJ game, and the Bats are ahead by 2.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. That time just beautifully timed up in the batter's box by TJ Schuyler. thought maybe Peterson was going to make a break on it, and saw once it landed, it had some top spin as well. So that's one, if you make an all-out dive for it, it can get away really quickly. So Peterson just tried to eat it to allow Skylar to advance one bag, but as a result, with someone already in scoring position, brings home another run.
Means Romano moves over to second as well. Jaro scores a run for the second consecutive night as Andrew Bell hits this one. Nice web gem by Nomura, but he'll eat the throw. Everybody's safe all the way around, and it heads to Jack Herring, the top of the lineup.
And just where Nomura was positioned closer to the second base bag.
But he probably saved the run there.
I would say so as well.
Especially with the grass in the outfield showing a propensity to sort of eat up ground balls out there, and it looks like there will be a mound visit for Bristol.
With McMahon going 6 innings, had a decent pitch count where maybe he could have gone out for another, but I'm assuming maybe fatigue played a little bit of a factor. And then you bring in Will Burns, able to get 2 outs, just this last out. You know, you're trying to finish things out. Sometimes it can just be the toughest one. We've seen already that he's had a little bit of success, but if Burns is not able to get out of this one, potentially if they want to bring somebody else for the 8th, they only have 2 pitchers at their disposal.
Tough day for Bristol in the, sort of availability department. McMahon gave him 6 solid innings, only allowing the 1 run, and now Jack Herring, we'll see what he can do. He's got 3 home runs on the year, 15 runs batted in, was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night, looking to add to it. Righty-lefty matchup, 2 away, first pitch, breaking ball outside. With another dangerous lefty on deck in Timon Olpe. The road does not get easier for Burns. As only saving grace, the 2 outs, 1-0 on the way. Herring sees a strike into the zone.
For Burns, you just gotta trust your stuff. He has showed off his arsenal and what kind of damage it can do, especially a breaking ball. It's slider out and away to batters, but a little tougher time with that sweeping pitch to a left-handed batter here in Andrew Bell.
Got a solo homer against Sanford as a leadoff shot on Thursday. He looks at strike 2. That was his 2nd homer in as many games. Here's the 1-2 to Herring. He spits on a breaking ball, makes it 2-2. That homer at Vermont broke a streak in which that couple of games where he didn't homer. 7 games. Now he's homered in 2 of his last 3. 2-2. Swing and a liner, center field. Will it get down? No. Good play by Ehlers as the Bats strand 3, but they get another run across. It's 2-0. We head to the top of the 8th. Bristol with work to do.
4 hits, 3 men left on base. Electric mini strip by Bridgeline Mechanical Systems. Visit them at the fully interactive showroom here in Keene at 216 Malvern Street, or online at gobridgeline.com, and tell them Ribby sent you. The Richards Group is a proud sponsor of SwampBats baseball. The Richards Group has helped local families and businesses with their home, auto, and business insurance for decades. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting them today. CNS Wholesale Grocers is an industry leader in supply chain solutions and wholesale grocery supply.
Look at the moon. 2-0. There's 0 on the board right now for Bristol. Beautiful night for baseball. We're moving right along. just at that 2-hour mark, and we're already through 7 full innings here in Keene, New Hampshire. Hopefully for the SwampBats, 1.5 to go. Bristol wants to make it at least 2. As Andrew Lapine remains on the mound, why take him out? He's been so effective.
Yeah, just been giving these Bristol hitters a tough time. He's coming to that part in the lineup where when he started things off in relief, he faced these guys coming up to the plate. So we'll see how they can fare out second time in the order. And I want to go back to Will Burns also. The fact that he got out of that inning facing some really tough hitters, allowing just 1 earned run, I think was extremely impressive. And it's still totally manageable for the offense. They just need to start to put things together. And it starts with a guy, Mika Peterson, already with 2 hits tonight.
And you get one hit after another like the SwampBats did in the 7th. Bats had 4 singles, one of which was an RBI single by TJ Schuyler, who has driven in both runs today and remains behind the plate. So fresh count to the lefty hitter. Mika Peterson is just off the plate. Lapine, before today, his longest outing was all the way back on June 5th against North Shore. He only went 2 innings. He's into his 4th inning and under 40 pitches. It's incredible stuff from Lapine. That one goes a little high. Two-one, just misses the corner. A little outside. Now 3-1.
Potentially, this is what Bristol needs. Every inning that Lapine has been on the bump, he has retired the first that he's faced. And a hole here to Peterson.
3-1, grounder to Ripken Reese. Fields it and throws to Tupou, out number 1. Lapine challenged Peterson and won the battle.
It doesn't look typically like a sweet spot for a hitter on that fastball up and in. Really high pitch that Peterson tried to fight off, and even behind the count, aggressive in his approach. And it works in the favor of Ripken Reese. Obviously Lapine and the SwampBats here.
There's strike. There's a strike 1. That's 78 miles an hour from a submarine slot. You just look at how efficient the pitching has been for the SwampBats today. I haven't seen an outing like this. There's a foul tip. Thank goodness for fences, as that would have careened straight into the Bats dugout. Hearing some fireworks off in the distance. Still the 5th of July, so people are burning off their fireworks that they didn't get to use last night or the night before.
Once it's on a Friday, any weekend,
oh yeah,
July 4th,
you're gonna let them fly,
weekend.
Pretty much.
TJ Schuyler let one fly too.
And it falls, falls on a Friday, which is even more reason for people to have fun. Another foul ball, good at bat coming together for Gianno Merlonghi, who's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks and a strikeout. Exciting play by the young man in the vest over there. Lapine comes set once again. 0-2 as Merlonghi turns away from it. Thought it was going to hit him, but it didn't. 1-2. High pop up, stays in the infield. Reese makes the call and makes the catch. 2 away.
I mean, Lapine has just had no problem.
Right.
Gianno Merlonghi has already faced Lapine. He drew a walk, made some adjustments this time around. And the reason why we've been humming along, as you mentioned in this game, is just the effectiveness of somebody like Lapine attacking hitters, even with his breaking ball. But every time has almost seemed like he's got ahead, and he's been giving Bristol some troubles trying to swing it. Pitches out of the zone like Merlonghi just did, trying to pull one the other way, and eventually just got under it.
There's a fly ball left field. It's down for a hit. And that's the first hit Lapine has allowed. Previously sat down 9 straight. And now we'll deal with a base runner with 2 away here in the 8th.
Second hit for Dean O'Neill.
He's put together quite a little nice game. Couple of singles for him.
He has. And he's a guy that
it's good for him as well.
Loves to swing on the first pitch.
Oh, yes.
Anything is gettable to swing the bat and drive it a long way. He will give it a ride.
First pitch to Tommy Ehlers. What does peaches mean? Do you know what that means? I don't know what that is. Maybe a bunt sign? Check swing. Down to first, Joseph Hilton says he did not go around.
I will say it's an interesting find from
I don't know what
one of the
peaches
camera crew
means.
members.
No more peaches. You see this sign down on the left there.
Maybe I think poking fun at Dean O'Neill. I don't know, just a guy that loves to have a laugh.
1-1, fouled on the left-hand side. I need you to figure out what peaches means. I need to know these things. I think the viewers need to know these things.
I would agree. Certainly something very interesting.
1-2. Foul tip, heads up. As it avoids our cameraman, Reed, over there. He says he's okay, and he's right back to work. Maybe he should bring a glove to work next time. Hello, Reed. 1-2, called strike 3. Lapine, a master class. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 2-0 SwampBats.
Quiros drills it to right field, and it is gone!
Just as it was the first time these two teams met. Really solid pitching from both sides, but right now Keene, the better of the bunch. 4 innings both from Ben Rabatin as the starter, and then Andrew Lapine, who sat down 9 straight before giving up a 2-out single to Dean O'Neill, then responded, struck out Ehlers looking for his second K. It is all Lapine today for the SwampBats, and TJ Schuyler. So pitcher and catcher doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been tough for Bristol. No matter what, they're down their final 3 outs. Obviously, we've seen some success already from Burns on the mound, but the same can be said from the hitters on the other end. And now they've hiked up the hit total to 9, have the Keene SwampBats, to just 5 for Bristol so far. Just haven't been able to take advantage of any time there has been a base runner on.
And early in the game, you just look at those first 3 innings, first 4 innings, really, for the Bristol Blues. 6 left on base at the end of innings through the first 4, and 8 through the first 5. So it's just been a story of LOB for the Bristol Blues today. Keene has left 5. So they haven't been immune from that bug either, but it's definitely been a bigger impact for Bristol thus far. As Will Burns remains on the mound, he throws a first pitch strike to Ty Manolfi. Keene, 782 team OPS, second in the league. Just misses outside to Manolfi, who will go through his routine and rub the dirt. Look at the night sky, twilight sky here in Keene. 1 ball, 1 strike. Manolfi fouls one down the right-hand side. And a dad makes a play down there.
And for Manolfi, seen a breaking ball. That one waited on it a little bit and just fought it off. These hitters just trying to catch the timing of this slider.
That one hit pretty well and also foul. A little early on it, like you said.
That one at 81 rather. So more of a changeup from Burns, less sidearm action movement to it. But it seems like Manolfi is right on it.
He's been on it really this all season, but now he'll go down looking. First time he's struck out today. 1 away here in the 8th.
Really good pitch from Burns.
Fantastic.
And it was in more of a sweet spot, kind of right over the middle of the plate. And for whatever reason, fooled Manolfi.
Maybe he was expecting him to go back to the fastball. Just catches that outside part of the black.
Just 12-6 from Burns.
Yeah. It's good arm action. Looks very similar to the fastball and a good pitch. Brings up Ripken Reese, who looks at strike 1. First pitch strikes. Effective now in this inning for Will Burns. And there's a look at Todd Knibbe, who has been the closer, the tall 6'6" right-hander who throws up to 97 miles an hour. Will likely come in the top of the 9th to try and close this one out for the SwampBats if we get to that, or when we get to that point. Knibbe really got on everybody's radar. Breakout summer season. Allowed his first run of the week, or of the season, earlier in the week, all the way to this point. And hadn't walked a guy for a while either. 1-2 on the way to Ripken Reese with 1 away. That one's in the dirt and catches the umpire. Hopefully Brian Roth is all right. He'll walk it off. Take a lap around, make sure he's okay.
We'll say, failed to mention this earlier, a number of players that are typically in the Bristol Blues lineup are not today, and they won't be most likely on Monday as well. They didn't come to travel here to Keene, most likely won't travel as well to Montpelier. And Joe Tiroli, one guy that's constantly played either third base or second base, has been one of the best hitters. He's not in the lineup. And Jack Hopko has played every game since he's been in Bristol outside of one. And he's no longer in the lineup today as well.
2-2, fouled off left side. Ripken Reese stays alive. Good battle here. As Burns comes set again, Xavier Perez waits in the on-deck circle. 2-2, laser down the right field line and fouls. Will this kid make the play? No, an error. Oh no. No fundamentals there. Doesn't even put the glove on the ground. He's got to make the play there. Come on, man. It's going on not top 10, how about? We've had a couple on SportsCenter top 10 here in Keene. That might need a not top 10. 2-2, just off the outside, makes it full count.
Burns,
makes a full count.
He wanted that one. He'll top out at about that pitch right there, 86 on his fastball.
Rearing up and trying to empty the tank. Give his team a chance in the top of the 9th. 3-2 foul. Very early on it, but barely got a piece of it. Now the kids will run after it. And that kid in the Reading with Ribby t-shirt is very happy that he made his play. Kid down the foul line throwing the ball, maybe could learn a thing or two. 3-2 again on its way to Ripken Reese. Off speed, he'll draw a walk.
I mean, just a great job that time from Ripken Reese. Swinging at pitches he thought maybe he could square up just a little bit better than that one right there, leaving it aside.
So to bring up Xavier Perez, look at his day, a couple of singles and a strikeout. Ripken Reese has had an interesting day at the plate too. Double play, 2 walks now, and a fly out to center field. Be interested to see if they send Reese, who's already been caught stealing at third once today, Not sure if they need to get that aggressive at this point in the game.
We'll say, who knows, this could be a jinx, but it's been pretty quiet on the base pass so far from both sides.
Nothing to one. No attempt now. Perez down the left side, and they'll take the out at first as Perez grounds into a 5-3 putout. 2 away.
Excellent from Irizarry there.
Yeah, just he checks Reese at first, but he got a good jump. Didn't steal. Go over to first, get the out.
And that's the type of play where he was charging in. He didn't really have his body over his glove.
Right.
And still able to throw it from as deep as you can get over there at the third base bag onto Trevor Hansen at first in time. An impressive play, an important out, and for Keene, you advance the runner into scoring position at second. And so now it's, can you take advantage?
Here's Ryan Jaros, who was driven in by TJ Schuyler. He was at a 1-out single in the 7th, just an inning ago. Jaros on the year with runners in scoring position, an RBI and 6 ABs. Hitting .333 in those situations. 1-0 to the right-handed hitter. Looks at a strike. Nice pitch in the low half of the zone. Todd Knibbie continues to warm up for the SwampBats. Bats have 2 runs on 9 hits. They've committed an error. Bristol scoreless on 5 hits, no errors for them. 1-1 on the way to Jaros. Started the hands. Didn't bring the barrel into play. There's a look at Todd Knibbie, the closer.
This is an important out for Bristol. Even if you are not able to come through in this game, I think if you only throw 2 arms, that's huge. Coming into an off day tomorrow, you'll continue to get more arms with a day off, and then Monday you have JT Landwehr and maybe more arms at your disposal.
2-1, a strike. Great pitch, just catches that high inside corner. Not really much that a righty can do about it if he's not anticipating it. Righty-righty matchup. Burns focuses in. 2-2 on the way. Fouled back. He stays alive. SwampBats would love to give Todd Knibbie some insurance if he's the man who's going to come into this game, which seems likely at this point. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs once again. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. The Bats strand 1, and we'll see what they have in store the top of the 9th, a save situation as Todd Knibbie will enter the game to try and shut the door on the Bristol Blues when we come back.
SwampBat fans, yes, we have a winner of the 50-50 for $180 to Jen O'Neill from Greenfield, Massachusetts. Congratulations, Jen.
There's a look at the story of the game. It's been a pitcher's paradise here at Alumni Field, at least if you're a SwampBat. 2 runs on 9 hits for the Bats. They've committed an error. None on 5 hits for the Bristol Blues. And huge credit to Ben Rabatin and Andrew Lapine for getting the staff to this point where the man himself, Todd Knibbie, the Todd father, can come into the game and try and slam the door.
I mean, you touched on it just a little bit earlier. This guy can get up to 97, nasty off-speed pitches to match. The type of pitcher, especially down the stretch in a game, that Bristol has not faced. They haven't been a part of a lot of close games. This one they got to claw back, and they haven't also notched a hit in that column in a long time, and it'd have to come in potentially their toughest test tonight.
They have yet to face Kinneby this year. And Todd Kinneby, look at the stats for him. 7 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. He has walked 1 and fanned 18 to this point. Sheesh. That's a lot of strikeouts. We'll see what Kinneby has in store today. 7-8-9 for the Bristol Blues. Trevor Hansen, the first to the plate. Righty-righty matchup. Here we go. Top of the 9th. Fastball down the middle at 94. See what the senior out of Manhattan College can do. He's 0 for 3. A couple of flyouts. Rather, 3 flyouts. Kinneby kicks and deals. Strike 2, 96. And it looks effortless.
It's effortless in that spot, especially with a righty, and Hansen is so tough to put a barrel on it.
Oh, 2. Outside, 96 again. Lights up the radar gun. Just misses a little bit. He pulled it off the finger. And the 6'6" closer for the SwampBats will come set again. The 1-2 on the way. Fastball again. And at any point, he can go to the slider and fool a guy.
And for Hansen, he's no short of having power as well.
That's right.
So who knows if this kind of pitcher he's able to capitalize on. He's seen him hit 3 home runs so far, but again, not against this type of velo.
He's 0 for 3 with 3 flyouts. 1-2. Kinneby deals. Fastball. Got him swinging 96 miles an hour. 1 away in the top of the 9th.
That type of pitch here in the NECBL is just catch me if you can. And that time Hansen not able to. We'll get a pinch hitter. It's Joey DiMucci coming into the game,
who I accidentally referred to as Ben DiNucci the last time these two teams played. But had to mention that one because it was too funny not to bring up. So Scott Gell's day is done after he was relatively unsuccessful, had a slow day at the plate. Gell 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Brings up Joey DiMucci. Make sure I don't get it wrong today.
Right on cue. Yeah. Facing a guy here like Kinneby, right off the bench. If you're Joey DiMucci, you'll see how he fares.
First offering, fastball, straight to the glove of Ripken Reese, and the bats are 1 out away. Rather a changeup from Kinneby.
I mean, that's what's becoming so effective for Kinneby, is that it looks like a fastball from up here.
Yeah.
And he's got that deceptive arm slot where it doesn't matter what he's throwing, what pitch he goes to, it's going to be in the same slot each and every time.
And you think about how the Bristol Blues have just seen 3 innings of Andrew Lapine, who throws no more than 80 miles an hour. As now a pinch hitter into the game is CJ Egri. I think I got that right. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Egri, who played in this matchup the first time these two teams met. First offering from Kinneby to Egri. Throws the fastball, 94 that time.
Draft coming up in about a week. This guy potentially could hear his name called. So impressive.
Might hear his name called or sign a professional contract.
How many guys like him in the NECBL? If you're Keene, you'll love it.
He's electric. Nothing in 1. Goes with the slider, maybe a cutter, 88. Misses down and away.
Egri's more of a contact guy. Not a ton of power on his end. Kind of needs to do exactly what DiMucci did, just barrel the ball. Potentially, you just want to drive it out some way, somehow.
1-1. Just misses, 95, pulls it a little outside, it's 2-1. And now against Kinneby, who is able to throw the fastball down the middle and blow it right by hitters, it's a hitter's count, 2-1. Not something you often see against the Bats closer. Nate Lincoln looms on deck. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runs high and inside. A little chin music, says, hey, how you doing? 3-1.
Bristol's gonna have to really dig deep. If they can get Eggery on somehow, the guys after him, not known for hitting the ball over the fence, so you just gotta go one after the other and try to produce.
3 balls and a strike to Eggery. Fastball. That's there. Runs it full. 3-2, 2 outs. 95 on the last pitch. Let's see what Keene has here. Here come the claps. The Bats looking for a win before an off day. 3-2, 2 away. Keene deals. Low, ball 4, only his 2nd walk of the year. So we'll have to wait a little longer, as that brings up Nate Lincoln, who is 0 for 4 after a 3 for 3 day.
And if you're Bristol, that's a huge win. It's just now you have your backs completely to the wall, and you cannot make a mistake at the plate, or it's over. And Eggery is known for being one of the speediest runners probably in the league. Had the single season stolen base record at Holy Cross this past year with 35, but
see if they send him.
The type of situation where it could be too little too late.
First pitch to Nate Lincoln. It's low and inside, and how fitting would that be? 95 on that. Looks like the radar gun in the stadium is maybe a little off. Not sure if Keene turned around and saw that, but Schuyler, we've seen him throw out a guy to end the game last time these 2 teams play. 1-0, there goes the runner. Fouled off. They tried to put on the hit and run, and Eggery will retreat to first.
And he would have been there no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Got an excellent jump, even right before Keene got into his windup.
Fans are still here in droves. Good numbers. Final attendance was 1,640. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nate Lincoln, the Blues' 2nd baseman, with 2 away. Ground ball right side, and this should be the game. Tupou picks it up. SwampBats win 2-0. A shutout victory for the Bats for the 3rd time this year, and Todd Keene slams the door with a save. A dominant day for the Bats pitchers. Ends 2-0. We'll be back in just a little bit to recap the end of this one. Bats win 2-0.
Joining us for Vikings of Baseball night. SwampBats next home game will be Wednesday night when we host the Vermont Mountaineers. Good night, and please go home safely.
Well, we'll send you the out-of-town scoreboard in just a little bit, but we'll look at the final of this game. 2 runs on 9 hits and an error for the SwampBats. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Bristol Blues. A great pitching duel today, and the Bats come out on top for their 3rd shutout of 2025.
Yeah, just 2 combined runs, obviously both from the SwampBats. Bristol not able to put a run in that column. Their best chance came in the top of the 3rd when they had the bases loaded. It just wasn't their night, and obviously you face a guy in Keene who is just nails, only allowing his 2nd issued walk, and other than that has been basically dominant. So for Bristol, you got to go back to the drawing board, but also a great pitching performance from them as well. So there's a number of positives you can take despite a loss.
Todd Kenneby's second save of the year, as maybe we'll see him play pro ball in just a couple years' time. We'll send it down to Ryan Fitzpatrick for the out-of-town scoreboard update. Ryan, what do you got?
Thank you very much, Andrew. First, we'll head over to the Connecticut, where the Danbury Westerners fell to the Mystic Sooners 11-5. Over on the North Shore, the Navigators fell to the Sanford Mainers 4-1. And in the top of the fourth inning, the Mystic Schooners lead the Danbury Westerners 9-6 in Game 2. And in the top of the ninth, in North Adams, the Steeple Cats lead the Vermont Mountaineers 8-3. That's your out-of-town scorebook. Back to you, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Well, a really successful day for all involved here at the SwampBats. Kobe, Bristol falls to 16-10. Keene improves to 18-8, but both of these teams very much in the hunt for the lead of their divisions. Keene leads their division, and Bristol just falls one game a little bit back of Newport at the top of the South.
Yeah, for Keene, they've been that team in the North. And for Bristol, they started off in the lead in the South Division, and then obviously Newport has just been outstanding recently. They've only lost 1 out of their last 11 games. They're going to be a really tough out. And obviously for Keene, if you continue to have these type of performances at home, where they've really only lost 1 official home game, we talked about it a little bit earlier that they lost 1 other game at home, even though they were not the home team because it was the first leg of a doubleheader. But for Bristol, again, you got to go back to the drawing board. You had some great pitching tonight. You had some moments offensively, and you just got to be able to put it together for 9 innings.
All right, that's all we've got from Alumni Field. The SwampBats win 2-0 for their 3rd shutout victory of 2025. For Mike Kelleher, Ryan Goodwin, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and of course my good broadcast partner and good friend Kobe Bronstein, I'm Andrew Hillsman saying so long from Alumni Field. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN. Copyright the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Bats win 2-0, and we'll see you next time here at Alumni Field. Good night, everybody.